Across the country and around the world, across the street and around the corner, this is Over the Culture. This is Over the Culture podcast, where you get to hear my spin on things I like music, sports entertainment, movies, TV shows, and your mom. You also get to hear about things I don't like LeBron haters. And I'm your bastard of ceremonies, the one gig kid, Pat Stay Black, Alex Treblack, Reefer Sutherland, Loot Fly Talker, the most interesting blurred in podcasting, the troller of trolls, the Prince of Petty, Steve G. It's June 6, 2021, and I really do not like Bron haters. I'm sick of debating with Bron haters. Yeah, there's just no winning with Bron haters. The man could save your family from a burning building, and you would still be like, oh, you don't have that killer mentality. You don't have the Mamba mentality. You're not clutch. You passed too much in the fourth quarter. I'm just done. I'm over it, man, because people will use the same excuses that are very valid with LeBron on other players, like everyone's precious point guard, Steph Curry. Oh, he didn't make it into the playoffs because he doesn't have Clay with a K. He didn't have his number two, his shooting guard playing with him. So, yeah, the whole season's a wash. Fuck that. LeBron would have took that team to the playoffs. He would have took that team to the playoffs. And fucking this year, he didn't have AD. AD's been hurt more than a female character in a Tyler Perry movie. AD's been hurt more than a fucking Mary J. Blige album. Jesus, man. And, you know, people will overlook that, but will give all the excuses for Steph. Oh my God, he can do no wrong. He's like impossible to hate. He's so perfect. He shits out gold and he smells like myrrh. Oh, I don't even know what myrrh smells like, but he just smells heaven sent. He's perfect. He's pristine. There's no wrong in Steph Curry. To that, I say bullshit, because I am living proof that there are people that do not like the man, myself included, because fuck Steph Curry. Yes, he's great. He changed the game of basketball. Everyone's clutching and throwing threes from halfway down the fucking court. But so, I don't like him. Fuck him. See there? It's that fucking easy. I get it. He's great. He's a good basketball player. Really good. But fuck him. And I wish you Bron haters would come to grips with your hatred. Stop making up all these bullshit excuses. Oh, his shoes are ugly. He's not even outselling Kyrie. Listen to y'all. Really? So LeBron's out, you know, so he's not going to get that fifth ring. We don't know if he's ever going to get that fifth ring, because what I am disappointed in, even as a LeBron fan, I do not agree with him quitting on his team. They were up 2-1 in the series against the Phoenix Suns, and then halfway through, game 4, he just walks out. Or not halfway, but about 5 minutes left in the game, he just walks out. Just looking sad, looking pitiful. And I get it. You know, you're frustrated. You know, your go-to guy, AD, supposed to be the part of the 1-2 punch. He's non-existent. And really, Anthony Davis had no business even being on the court at all, man. He's jeopardizing the rest of his career, man. We're going for longevity, AD. And hopefully he can come back, man. But the man has been brittle for a long time now. It's going to be interesting what they do with the front office in Los Angeles, man. But no more Lakers in the playoffs, but also no Warriors. And you Bron haters, you can keep all the hatred up, but that is not going to bring the Warriors back into the playoffs, because Steph Curry, just like LeBron, is watching the NBA come from his own home. So at this point, it's basically up to the Nets. It's up for the Nets to lose here. I mean, how could you go wrong? You got James Harden, Kyrie, and KD, and a pretty decent supporting cast. You got Blake Griffin. He's no slouch. He's definitely not like he was in his Lob City days with the Clippers. But, I mean, as a role player, that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a former All-Star. I'm really pulling for the Jazz. I've seen enough of their games this year, and they play like a well-oiled machine, man. Great team play. Their star is Mr. Donovan Mitchell. They call him Spider. and he missed quite a few games the last month of the regular season, but he's back, and they eliminated the Memphis Grizzlies. And, it's him, Rudy Gobert, Joe Ingles, and they, like I said, they have a really good team, so I like to see them at least make it to the finals. But, man, that Nets team, with all three of those guys on the court, it's just, who can beat them? It's also worth noting that Trae Young, the star point guard of the Atlanta Hawks, is just tearing shit up. They eliminated the Knicks, and now they're playing the Philadelphia Sixers, and it looks like they just won the first game of this series. So, I didn't take Atlanta too serious, but hey, show and prove, man. All you got to do is just get to the playoffs, get a seed, and we'll take it from there. Now, this Friday, some new music dropped, and one of the albums is The Voice of the Heroes. It is a joint collaboration with Lil Durk and Lil Baby. And I am a Lil Baby fan, and I'm okay with Lil Durk. He's got some tracks, but, because of the collaboration, it's not 100% Lil Baby. I ain't really care for it. The album, it's 59 minutes, 52 seconds, and it's got a couple tracks. It's got features from Travis Scott, Meek Mill, and Young Thug, and Rod Wave. And I probably added about 3 of these tracks, one of them being Hats Off with Travis Scott and Still Running with Meek Mill. There's a lot of that sing-songy shit, and I don't really care for that sing-songy shit all the time, every time, on every track. Nope. And Lil Durk, that's kind of his deal. He's a drill rapper, so they say, from Chicago, and he's in these streets, but he does a lot of ballad trap rap. And I don't know, man, maybe that's the new wave, the Rod wave, but I just couldn't get with it, man. So it's didn't really pique my interest overall as an album, but what did pique my interest is Smoke DZA's latest album, The Hustler's Catalog 2. And I've been following Smoke DZA for the past couple years, and he is an MC's MC. And if you claim you like hip-hop and you don't know who Smoke DZA is, I'm disappointed in you. Don't say you know hip-hop if you don't know who Smoke DZA is. You should know. Witty punchlines, great pop cultural references, and deep cuts. Deep pop cultural references that'll have you going to the IMDb's and the wikis. Like, oh shit, that's that? That's who's who? Yeah, Smoke DZA, The Hustler's Catalog 2. It's 33 minutes and 2 seconds, 10 songs total, and there's features with Westside, Currency, Dave East, Stephen Young, Dom Kennedy, Lou Kell, Paris Bryant, Numbers, Benny the Butcher, Nimlo, 24 Hours, Stephen Young, Chelsea Denise, Jay Grams. Man, I added just about this whole album to my playlist, The Hustler's Catalog 2. Pay attention to Smoke DZA. I have, and he has not been disappointing. He is a strong collaborator of the Griselda Gang, and y'all know how I feel about that Griselda Gang. They have pretty much brought East Coast New York rap back to the forefront. And speaking of which, Lloyd Banks of the legendary iconic G Unit just released his latest album, The Course of the Inevitable. And during the initial G Unit run, I wasn't really heavy on Banks like a lot of people are. A lot of people, that's their favorite person out of the G Unit besides 50. And I will say his chin strap lineup game has always been crisp, precise. He never has been in front of a camera or made a public appearance without that lineup being precise. And The Course of the Inevitable, I only started listening to it because of the reaction, the response that it's gotten from the fans. Down my timeline on Facebook and even on Instagram, I've seen people give a shout out to this album, The Course of Inevitable. It seems like it's an instant classic. I've only listened to maybe the first couple tracks, and I will say I am impressed, Mr. Banks. Keep hip hop alive, man. Now, The Course of the Inevitable is 18 songs, 1 hour and 7 minutes. And there's features from Freddie Gibbs, Gangsta Gibbs, man. Not enough can be said about him. Another student of the game that's keeping hip-hop around for a long time. Rock Marcy, Benny the Butcher, Styles P, Ransom. And so far, like I said, I've only been a couple tracks in, and I've already added a couple tracks to the playlist. So please check that out as well. The Course of the Inevitable by Lloyd Banks. Now, this is the season premieres of season 3 of Over the Culture, but I'm going to keep it brief because I got a lot of shit to do today. But I do want to note that today Floyd Mayweather is fighting the Paul guy, and I've gotten them mixed up several times. I don't know which one is which, Logan or Jake. I believe he's fighting Logan, and his brother Jake is fighting the UFC guy here later this summer. But man, it's always been said that you gotta fear a man that has nothing to lose. And right now, Logan Paul literally has nothing to lose. He's already winning. The fact that Floyd Mayweather signed up for this shit, even if Logan gets knocked on his ass, the fact that he is in the ring with Floyd Mayweather and he's going to get paid, I'm sure, win, lose, or draw, if you're in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, you're going to come home to a bag. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think Logan will win, but hey, what the fuck do I know? Just a nigga with the podcast. Impress us. Prove us wrong, Logan. The fact that you've made it this far is impressive. And I gotta say this. Maybe I'm on a lonely island as a black man by saying this, but I fucks with the Paul brothers. They're both from the Ohio, and they're representing, man. You might call them loudmouths, you might call them cocky, but whatever it is, man, they're getting our attention. So, yeah, I'm going to be tuning in on that as well. And I also want to mention the passing of Clarence Williams III. I just found out earlier today that we lost another legend, a black Hollywood icon. He made his name initially known as Link from the hit show The Mod Squad back in the 60s and 70s. And I know him, and my generation knows him from Tales from the Hood. He was the old man. At the end, he said, "Yes, you want the shit? Oh, you're gonna get the shit. You're gonna be knee deep in shit." That's one of the scariest fucking things ever, man. So Clarence Williams III, he was in that, and he was also Mr. Samson in Half Bake. This is Samson, smarty pants. So R.I.P. to that legend. Today in sports history, in 1944, all Major League Baseball games are canceled in honor of the D-Day landings in northern France. In 1946, the Basketball Association of America is formed in New York City. In 1966, the NFL and the AFL announced their merger. In 1969, Joe Namath resigns from the NFL after Pete Rozelle, the football commissioner, said he must sell his stake in a bar. In 1971, Willie Mays hits a record 22nd and his last extra inning home run. In 1976, the 30th NBA championship is held. Boston Celtics beat the Phoenix Suns 4-2. In 2017, Scooter Gennett hits 4 home runs in Cincinnati Reds' 13-1 victory at home against the St. Louis Cardinals. He becomes the 17th player to ever do so. And in 2018, LeBron James eclipses Michael Jordan's record of 109 for most 30-point games in NBA playoff history in Cleveland Cavaliers' 110-102 Game 3 finals loss to the Golden State Warriors. And that was my half-fast sports report. In today's birthdays for June 6, happy 46th birthday to American actress Stacey Keenan. Turning 54 today is American actor Paul Giamatti. Happy 56th birthday to NHL forward Cam Neely. Turning 57 today is Mexican professional wrestler Conan. Happy 61st birthday to American rock guitarist and composer Steve Vai. Turning 62 today is American comedian and actor Colin Quinn. And turning 74 today is American actor Robert Englund, the real Freddie. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. You know what that means, right? You pay nothing. It's free 99. It's a free app that you put on your phone, and it lets you go from there. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Check out Anchor.
And paint the sky. Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears, cry deaf to their tongue. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. When they call and the curtain falls, you're fortunate if you can see anything at all. How did we get so far out of touch? Never did the earth feel a heart bleed so much. Standing at the brink and we still ain't learned a lesson. Now we diving head first in the Armageddon. Too far gone to ever undo the damage. Face it, mankind just been a plague on this planet. Fanning the flames of our own self-destruction. Could try and warn the people, but you can't tell them nothing. Deaf, dumb, and blind by their own self-destruction. If I give some to you, then there's not enough for me. Ain't we something to see? Humanity at its best. Take a good look inside the vanity of the West. I've never been impressed by your marvelous jewels. Cause while your plate is full, they starving the Darfur. Can you be so sure about your fate once we're through? What it do? Tell me how will history remember you? Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears, cry deaf to their tongue. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. When they call and the curtain falls, you're fortunate if you can see anything at all.
I'm shadow boxing with the devil every day, giving him the little kid gloves, keeping him at bay. The scary thing is I don't even know my fate, so I'm praying maybe I can make it through the gate. Satan's still trying to sucker punch me in the face, and it's mind over matter, keep him in his place. A citizen in the city is sin. Shit is everywhere, no matter what city you in. Did you know the human brain is insensitive to pain? Some of the people you come across are insane. Every day it's a brand new trial for thieves, murderers, rapists, and pedophiles. I just watched on the 10 o'clock news, another teenager just shot up the school. More lives thrown into the cesspool, so don't become another victim of the next fool.
Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears, cry deaf to their tongue. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. When they call and the curtain falls, you're fortunate if you can see anything at all. Why do we have war? Good for the rich, bad for the poor. Are we trying to rewind and fast forward? Maybe after all the world dies from radiation, we can start talking about mind elevation. Always complaining about what's cooking in the pot, but they're starving in the Philippines, so finish what you got. The powers that be, they wanna force you to choose, but when you got nothing to lose. They're talking about doing, but all they doing is talking, dragging their feet till they relieved of office. And now all the innocent blood is mixed in with the mortar as they build their way through to a new world order. There's room at the top, they're telling you still, but first you gotta learn how to smile when you kill. If you wanna be like them folks on the hill, sign this shit in blood, yo, it's time to make a deal. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears, cry deaf to their tongue. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. When they call and the curtain falls, you're fortunate if you can see anything at all. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears, cry deaf to their tongue. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. When they call and the curtain falls, you're fortunate if you can see anything at all. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears, cry deaf to their tongue. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands wondering if you can see anything at all. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. Blind to the tears cry dipped in its own. All but dust before the day is done. Who will see the crimson paint the sky? Sinners in the hands of an angry guy. They call me the good bones. If you can see anything at all.
Glass City, bitch. Glass City, bitch.
And a special mention to those no longer with us. This past Friday, we lost American actor Clarence Williams III. Born August 21st, 1939 in New York City, he's best known for playing the character Link Hayes in the hippie cop show The Mod Squad from 1968 to 1973. He also appeared prominently in films such as Purple Rain, 52 Pickup, Tales from the Hood, Half Baked, and Reindeer Games, and had a recurring role on Season 2 of Twin Peaks. Born in New York City, Williams is the son of a professional musician, Clarence Clay Williams Jr., and grandson of jazz and blues composer pianist Clarence Williams and his singer-actress wife Eva Taylor. Raised by his paternal grandmother, he became interested in acting after accidentally walking onto a stage at a theater below a Harlem YMCA. Williams began pursuing an acting career after spending 2 years as a paratrooper in C Company, 506th Infantry of the 101st Airborne Division. He first appeared on Broadway in The Long Dream, 1960. Continuing his work on stage, he appeared in Walk in Darkness, Sarah and the Sax, Double Talk, and King John. His breakout theatrical role was in William Hanley's Slow Dance on the Killing Ground, for which he received a Tony Award nomination. The New York Times drama critic Howard Tolman wrote of his performance, "Mr. Williams glides like a dancer, giving his long, fraudulently airy speeches the inner rhythms of fear and showing the nakedness of terror when he ceases to pretend." He also served as artist in residence at Brandeis University in 1966. Williams' breakout role was as undercover cop Link Hayes on the highly popular counterculture TV cop series The Mod Squad, along with fellow relative unknowns Michael Cole and Peggy Lipton. Since the series ended in 1973, he has worked in a variety of genres on stage and screen, from comedy and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and Half Baked to sci-fi, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and drama in Purple Rain. Spanning over 40 years, his career includes the role of Prince's tormented father, who was also a musician in Purple Rain, a recurring role in the surreal TV series Twin Peaks, a good cop in Deep Cover, a rioter in the miniseries Against the Wall, and Wesley Snipes' chemically dependent dad in Sugar Hill. Other TV roles include Hill Street Blues, the Canadian cult classic The Littlest Hobo, Miami Vice, The Highwayman, Burn Notice, Everybody Hates Chris, Justified, and Law & Order. He can be seen in movies such as 52 Pickup, Life, The Cool World, Deep Cover, Tales from the Hood, Half Baked, King, a filmed record Montgomery to Memphis, Hoodlum, Frogs for Snakes, Starstruck, The General's Daughter, Reindeer Games, Imposter, and as the early jazz musician Jelly Roll Morton in The Legend of 1900. He also played a supporting role as George Wallace's fictional African-American butler and caretaker in the 1997 TNT movie George Wallace. He played Bumpy Johnson in the film American Gangster. From 2005 to 2007, Williams had another recurring role as the voice of Counselor Andam on the Disney series American Dragon Jake Long. Williams married the actress Gloria Foster in 1967. They worked together on The Mod Squad. Foster made 2 guest appearances. The 2 were also in the movie The Cool World in 1964. In 1984, they filed for divorce, but remained friends. They had no children. Williams announced Foster's death in 2001. Williams died in Los Angeles on June 4, 2021, from colon cancer at the age of 81. Rest in peace, Mr. Williams. So that wraps up another edition of Over the Culture. Thank you for tuning in, and please make sure you check out my other show, happening in the 90s every Thursday with my buddy Matt, as well as our sister show, or should I say sister show, Crushgasm with Kendra. And I'm actually going to be the interviewee on Crushgasm this Wednesday, talking about my first crush, Ashley Banks, as well as Lisa Turtle. Oh. Y'all be cool now. Peace.